Welcome to Dropping In, a podcast of storytelling and interviews with your host, Winter Olympian Mercedes Nicoll.
Thank you so much for dropping in today. This is series 13. And in this series, I just want to touch on the world of high performance. Injuries are inevitable, but recovery, it truly is an art. I've been through my fair share of injuries. You guys have heard in episode 1 that I've had concussions and everything like that. And so I've reached out to a group of athletes as well as doctors and physios to see how that journey of injury recovery and wellness comes about in this 10 episode series. So get ready to be inspired and educate yourself on how to care for your body and mind through every challenge. Again, this is series 13, Athlete Injury Recovery and Wellness. This is episode 113, and we're recording Thursday, September 26, 2024. Let me introduce our next guest that will be dropping in. He started gymnastics at the age of 4, began competing at the age of 8, and joined Canada's senior national gymnastics team in 2018. In 2021, he made history by finishing 8th in the men's all-round at World Championships, Canada's best ever result in that event. He also qualified for the rings and vault apparatus finals, finishing 7th and 8th. And now, about this, I want to touch on 2 things that happened here. The first one is he learned 3 days before qualification that he'd be competing on all 6 apparatuses, which is mind-blowing. And not only was he competing in all of them, but he was competing with a partial bicep tear. Now, I don't know how you do that in gymnastics, but we will be touching on that. After a brief break from gymnastics to reset mentally and physically, he returned stronger, and he helped Team Canada achieve a historic 4th place finish at the 2023 FIG World Championships, securing Canada's first men's Olympic berth since 2008, which may not seem like that long ago, but really it is. 2008. Leading up to the 2024 Paris Olympics in February, he suffered the same injury to his bicep muscle, but this time on his right side. Rehab and training, he came back and competed at the 2024 Canadian Championships, where he finished 3rd in the all-round, taking silver on the floor exercise and bronze in the rings, qualifying his spot on Team Canada at his first Olympic Games in Paris 2024. I am thrilled to drop in with this Pan-American Games medalist and resilient Olympic gymnast, William Émard. Let's get him on here. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine. Yeah,
Did I say
everything was perfect. Actually, it could have been better.
Okay, you've done a lot, and I'm so glad that you're on today because when I made your bio and was reading about you, I was like, how do you do gymnastics with like a a no bicep? So I'm excited to get into that. But before we do, we are going to start with the rapid fire questions so people get to know you a little bit more. Are you
Perfect.
ready?
I am.
All right. Number one's not hard. Where in the world are you today?
I'm in Amsterdam right now doing an exchange student, so I'm kind of studying for the whole fall semester. So I'm in Europe, so I have a six to 8 hours different. I don't know where you are in Canada right now, but it's a little
Yeah,
bit
I'm
late for
in
me.
I'm in I'm in BC. It's 11 a.m. here. It's 8 p.m. for you, I think.
Yeah, wow, so 9 hours. Okay.
I was like, that's kind of the hardest part of my day is figuring out those time changes. I'm like, okay, is this
Yeah,
gonna
of
work?
course.
Awesome. Um, okay, you're in Amsterdam, and I was looking on your Instagram. And did you get your Olympic ring tattoo in Amsterdam?
Yes, I did actually with one of my good friend, Casimir Schmidt, who went to his first Olympic also for Team Netherlands. We met a couple of
Okay.
years back, competing together, and he's a big tattoo fan. If you know Casimir, he got like a bunch of tattoo and stuff like that. So we went to get our tattoo together for our first Olympics.
I love that. I thought that was
Yeah.
super cool. Okay, number 2, what's your favorite apparatus to compete on?
I'm really well known for my rings sets, but it's not at all my favorite events. It's one of the event that I hate the most, so it's a little
Oh,
bit particular for that. I would say either floor. I really like training and competing floor, and I
okay.
really like training high bar also. So, but I would say floor. Short answer.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Number 3, how do you relax after a tough training session?
A good meal with friends actually, and maybe like a board game nights a little bit on a Friday night, just to kind
Okay.
of get out of the gym, get out of my head. Like I'm that guy who's like kind of focusing always on the negative thing that I've done. Even though like if it's a really good training, if the last thing was negative, I'm kind of thinking about that. So just kind
Okay.
of get out of my space and stuff like that, and get in a good series on Netflix or a good book. Actually, that's my thing.
Nice. Oh, now I wanna ask you what book you're reading. That was the question.
I just finished a book about a Quebec alpinist that was like doing Mount Everest and K2 and stuff like that. So that was
Okay.
really interesting to see like the perspective of a alpinist. I'm not at all interested in going to for the Mount Everest right now, but just like
Okay.
the perspective of it. And now
Cool.
I'm reading Wabi Sabi. It's a Japanese thing about like not everything needs to be perfect. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's called Wild Beast?
Wabi Sabi. So it's
Oh,
that.
Wabi Sabi. Oh, Wabi
Wabi
Sabi.
Sabi. Yeah. So not
I like
everything
a
needs
good
to be
look
perfect.
I like a good book recommendation. Awesome.
Yeah, of course. I
Um,
love books, actually.
that's so good. If you weren't a gymnast, what sport would you compete in?
I would say I'm Canadian, so I have to say hockey, but if it was me, I'd say either tennis or racing, like
Okay,
Formula One or
it's
stuff like that. Yeah.
I love this. So I've had 2 other athletes on this series so far, and everyone's saying tennis. I
Yeah, I
love
don't
it.
know. It feels I'm a big fan of Roger Federer. Like I feel like he's
Heck
such a
yeah.
like I don't know, he's
Like,
like the Janimel of tennis player. I don't know. I feel like he's a really good example that I'm trying to follow. Not always
mhm.
successful about it, but he's one of my guy that I'm really kind of looking up for.
I think he is one of the best sportsmen's out there, just the way that he presents himself. So I think we're on the same wavelength there for sure.
Yeah.
Number 5, what's your favorite movie of all times?
Um, it always go back to that movie. It's not like a crazy story and stuff like that. The Intern with Anna Tawai and Robert De Niro. It's
Okay.
just my go-to feel-good movie. It's always a hit when I watch it. It just but I do love a good marathon of Harry Potter actually. So
Oh,
that's also
yes.
yeah, of
Yeah.
course,
Fall
of
is
course.
coming. Fall seems like a Harry Potter
Fall,
time.
fall is coming in Amsterdam. It's raining a shitload right now. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
gonna
Same
need my Harry
same
Potter season.
same here. I love
Yeah,
that.
same in Vancouver, same in BC. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm ready for my Harry Potter time. Number 6, we may have just touched on this, but who's your biggest role model?
Um, so Roger Federer is one. Lewis
Yeah.
Hamilton is another one.
Okay.
And then Cal Schufel is someone that in my sport who accomplished like the best thing and the only one who did it with a gold medal in the sport. He's the only medalist in the sport of gymnastics for
Yeah.
men.
Yeah.
And he's such an humble guy. And when I injured myself, he sent me a text and he was like, "If you need someone to talk to and stuff like that, this is my number. You can call me whenever." We had a good talk for like an hour, 2 hours, just talking
Yeah.
about like what's my future, what's the Olympics and stuff like that. So really amazing guy and a humble guy again. So I'm just like kind of looking towards people are mostly humble.
Yeah, I agree. I Kyle is a legend. I got to meet him, I think after my 2nd Olympics, and he is exactly as you say, humble and lovely. I'm
Yeah.
so glad he was a
Yeah.
mentor
No.
for you. That's awesome.
Yeah. No. He's actually nice.
Yes. Number 7, what's your favorite food?
Sushi. Gotta go
Yeah.
sushi.
Do you
But
get
after a
sushi in
comp,
Amsterdam?
No, 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 no. In Amsterdam, they're not really well known for their food. It's mostly
No.
like a mix of meat and potato and fried
Yeah.
thing, so it's
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
great.
Okay.
So no, I haven't got sushi yet, but after
Mm.
a comp, always a good cheeseburger with fries. That's the always the go-to.
Oh, really? From anywhere in particular?
No, not
Just a
necessarily. Just
cheeseburger and fries. You're like, "I need
a good
this."
place. Yeah, a good place that we can sit, cheeseburger, fries, and a cold beer. That's
Yeah.
the meal. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, cool. Number 8, do you have a pre-competition ritual or superstition?
Um, I always have my small routine. It's depending on like when the comp is. So like when
Yeah.
it's late in the afternoon, I'm always doing like a little power nap, even though I'm never napping in my life. Like I don't like nap. It's just mostly like of a down moment, not watching anything, just listening to calm music and just to kind of refocus myself. Then
Okay.
it's always shower, hot and cold, like a mix of it, just to wake myself up,
Yeah.
dress up, do my hair and stuff like that because I got like crazy long hair, then fluffy, and when I'm doing gymnastics, they're going everywhere.
Yeah.
Then putting music on, my AirPods are all the way in until warm up, and I'm always trying to hit Tim Hortons and stuff like that for black coffee and just drinking that black coffee before comp, and then I'm ready to go.
Okay. Wild. I like
Yeah.
that you have what music are you listening to in your are you listening to audiobook or are you listening to music?
Music, and mostly I'm gonna go like chill rock-ish, not heavy metal,
Okay.
just a nice rock and roll or rock from Linkin Park, for example.
Okay, okay, cool. I love it, I love it. It's just super intriguing to hear what other athletes do in their free time. Because like, when I was snowboarding, I would
Yeah,
listen to music as well, and people would be like, "That's insane," and I was like, "Is it
yeah,
insane, or is it just normal?"
yeah. I think the weirdest one of the most surprised one was Sofiane Method, who won a bronze medal at the Olympics in Paris.
Yeah.
She's listening to like heavy metal, but like she's the most joyful person, most smiling person that I know, I think. And she's
Yeah,
listening to like heavy rock metal during comp, and I'm just like,
interesting.
yeah, it's everything. Everyone is like kind of different on that, I guess. So
Totally,
yeah.
totally, I love that. Okay, number 9, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Ooh, wow,
I know, it's deep, I went deep.
wow. Uh, I think everything happens for a reason. I think it
Mhm.
just puts a little bit in the moment. Sometimes it feels like some stuff or like the worst thing that could happen in your life, and you're just kind of too much in it to really kind of see the bigger picture of it. So just take the time to kind of analyze the situation, and mostly it's always related to sports. And when you kind of take a breather from sports, you realize there's other stuff in your life, and there's other stuff that could happen in your life, like in the future, and there's other stuff that could be worse.
Yeah,
And every time that something is kind of bad for me or happening, it's not like crazy, crazy bad. It's mostly related to sports. Like I had a bad training, bad comp, whatsoever. I'm
mhm,
always thinking about like, oh, this is gonna be a good story. Like I'm always thinking like, okay, in a couple months, couple years, this is gonna be a
yeah,
good story. Like
yeah,
it's the
yeah,
material for a good story. So I'm trying to thinking that a little bit. So yeah, everything happens for a reason.
yeah, that's a good one. Last one, number 10, if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Mm. I'm actually leaving in 2 days in Malaga in Spain, which I'm really excited about.
Ooh,
Going to the beach a little
nice.
bit,
Yeah,
but anywhere in oof,
that's a
um,
tough one. I don't know what I would say right now. I think it changes all the time too.
Iceland, Indonesia, or Vietnam.
Oh, you really came up with those. And where do you travel most for gymnastic events? This is also something I don't
Uh,
know.
yeah, Europe. The
Europe.
biggest people over there is Europe for gymnastics.
Okay.
South American is not really developed. There's like bigger country like Brazil, Colombia, and Mexico a little bit, but nothing crazy. in
Okay.
Asia, there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of athletes practicing the sport, but I
Mhm.
don't know. It's kind of close to American and European. I don't know if it's because it's far. I don't know the reason why, but they got
Okay.
plenty of gymnasts over there and plenty of good level gymnasts. So I don't know, but most
Cool.
comp are in Europe.
Amazing. Okay, you've done the rapid fire. Thank you so much. Never the
That was not
easiest part.
rapid, but
It's
yeah,
it's
no, that was not
it's
rapid, but
never rapid, and I love that about it.
yeah, no,
I
that's
should
perfect.
probably name it something else, but it is what it is. Okay, so because in your bio, I talked about how you tore one bicep and then you tore another
Yeah,
bicep. Let's talk about the first tear and how you competed with it, because I don't know
yeah.
how, like, obviously you need your bicep in gymnastics. So I want to, like, how did it happen? And then how did you compete with it?
So, leading up to the World Championship in Kyushu in 2021,
Mhm.
we were doing a series. We were doing two World Cup a month before World Championship just to see which routine we were going to present, and we're trying some new stuff and other things like that. So we
Yeah.
went to Slovenia and Turkey during COVID, like during 2021, it was COVID, and we had the mask and we had the PCR test and stuff like
Right.
that, which was
Yeah.
amazing because it was my first trip since the pandemic kind of exploded and like the Tokyo was not a thing anymore and stuff like that. So just
Yeah.
visiting another country, two new countries for me, and the weather was beautiful. And Slovenia was really cool, and Turkey same thing.
Yeah.
But went to Slovenia and Turkey, did the comp, and I felt like a little something on my arm. I felt like a tendonitis on my bicep. Nothing crazy, just like a little discomfort. We were like, it's gonna be fine. Just like
Yeah.
we need to push for the next month, and then we'll get some rest. The month continue, and I'm still feeling that little discomfort and going to Kitakyushu. It's still there, but I'm just like the only thing I can do is like push or just gonna skip it. I guess skip
Yeah.
the comp.
Yeah.
And so what happened? I did the six events by 3 days notice, and then
Yeah.
finished by qualifying on the all around final and rings final. So I had 3 days of different rings routine, and I was
Yeah.
doing a pretty strong set on rings. Is the highest routine I've done ever. I was doing a lot of strength element and stuff like that. And the more the days were going, the more I was feeling like my bicep was kind of giving up on me. So it was like,
Oh
oof,
god.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's not looking good. And my physio was asking me, "Do you want an MRI over there?" I was like, honestly, I don't want to know. I'm just gonna push through it, and then we'll get like results or stuff like that
Yeah.
and push through it. And you can see in the video on YouTube, there's like one first day I don't have any tape on my shoulder. Second day I have like a small tape, and the third day I have like all the stuff
Oh my
possible. Yeah. So
gosh.
I'm just like, okay, like I'm seeing the video, I'm just like, oh well, maybe that
Yeah.
wasn't smart. But I guess like it it, it was for the like it was for a good reason. Like I made 8 all around, and I made 7 on rings, and I made the first final on rings for Canadian. So it was like a good moment, and just in it, it
Yeah.
felt like the right decision.
Yeah.
But then we kind of didn't really check it up after, or we no, sorry, came back in end of October, did a ultrasound just to see
Yeah.
like if there was any like damage to the bicep. And they were saying, no, there's nothing. There's just like a little bit of tendinitis on your bicep. You should be fine. It's like, okay, cool. Then the months goes and goes, and I'm still feeling that discomfort, and it's getting like worse and worse and worse. I'm like, okay, there's something going on. So
Yeah.
we did another ultrasound. I'm just like, okay, is there something? No. We did an MRI to my neck to see if there was a nerve that was blocked. Nothing there either. They're like, can you give me an MRI? Like I asked the doctor, can you give me an MRI? Like I want an answer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
by June 2022, I had an answer that I had a bicep tear. I was like, okay, but like
Oh
that
my
was like,
gosh.
oh yeah, yeah. So it's been like from October to June that I had a bicep tear, and I didn't have any answer. And that was like draining mentally. It was just like I didn't
Yeah.
know what was going on. I was just like not able to do. At first, I wasn't able to do rings, and then it dropped to high bar that I couldn't do anymore, and then P bars was not possible either, and then pommel. So month by month, I was kind of
Just
dropping an event per month, like it was going badly. So it's like
oh.
I need answer, and like mentally. being injured and not knowing what you have is the worst thing ever. You just feel
Right?
like you're working backwards, like it's not working. So that's
Yeah.
when I took my little pause from the sport. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get answer, but before that, like my mental shape right now is not going well. And we had the
Yeah.
Commonwealth also, so there was a little bit of pressure that I was putting on myself to be at the Commonwealth. So I never
Okay.
been to those games because of my injuries.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a lot
Yet.
of thing happening at that moment.
You haven't been yet. We'll talk
Yeah,
about your
no,
future in
exactly.
sport.
Yeah,
We'll get
exactly.
to that, we'll get to that.
We'll get there.
Okay, so that's so crazy. If you hadn't asked for an MRI, you wouldn't have known, and you would have, like,
No, I
driven
would
yourself
just
nuts for sure.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you took yourself out of sport, which I commend both. Asking for the MRI, huge. You gotta ask for
Yeah,
what you want because you know your body the best. And
yeah,
then deciding to take a step back is never easy in sport, but a lot of the time it's usually our body telling us that we need a break. And I revert back to your everything happens for a reason. So what was your recovery process for this one?
So when I heard that I had a partial tear on my bicep, I went to see a surgeon that she operated myself in 2018 for a labrum tear in my shoulder. So it was like, okay,
Okay.
bicep, shoulder, she should have a good opinion about it. So she told me pretty much that when you have a partial tear, the only thing that you can do is either wait so
Okay.
it can heal like properly. You can
Yeah.
do injection, but not of cortisone because it's damaging the tendon and ligaments in the shoulders and elbow area. Or
Okay.
you could do PRP. So it's like
Yeah.
plasma enrichi de plaquettes. So I think it's plasma rich in plaquettes or stuff like that. So
Yeah,
they're taking your
platelet rich.
blood. Yeah,
It's your blood, right?
yeah, exactly. So they're taking the blood. They're kind of spinning
Shaking
it
it up.
around to get like the good nutriment. They're multiplying the nutriment and they're putting
Yeah.
back your blood, your rich blood in that area that is
Yeah.
injured, and you it's kind of boosting the process of the natural process of healing.
Yeah.
So I did that in end of June. Yeah, end
Okay.
of June I did that, and
Yeah.
then it was a 10-week rehab,
Oh my
and
gosh,
really
that's a
kind
long
of
time.
yeah,
That's
it
a long
is, but
time. Being
yeah,
an
it
athlete,
is.
10 weeks.
So
Okay.
it was from pretty much July until mid-September-ish.
Yeah.
And
Wait,
at
wait,
that
wait, wait.
moment, I was just,
When you get the PRP put in, what's the
yeah.
process after that? Do you, like, just chill, or are you still, like, working out?
So from what I understand, every doctor that is doing PRP has his own like kind of guideline they're doing, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
really, really general. Like it's really general.
Okay.
For first week is like you're doing nothing, and honestly, it hurts to do anything, so you
Nothing.
don't do anything,
Okay.
and you do
Okay.
nothing pretty much. And I'm a lefty. I'm a left-handed, and was left bicep, so it was really painful this week. I couldn't cook. I couldn't do like anything. Was everything was hurting.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, and then week
You
2
s
and 3 is like isometric, just like kind of moving,
Yeah.
just and your fault. And I was followed by a physio to kind of help me with the guideline. It was like, okay, what's isometric exercise? Like I kind of know, but like what's permitted and what's not. And
Yeah.
then you
Yeah.
go concentric and then eccentric for a couple of other weeks, and then from week 8 you kind of reintroduce yourself to the sport slowly.
Okay.
So that was kinda it was a long process, but I felt like I was improving every single day, every single week, so it was really interesting to see and not, like,
Awesome.
not knowing what I had for the couple months, so I felt like I was really kinda
Yeah.
going towards something, toward a direction that I really liked. So the recovery was
Amazing.
really good, and
Yeah.
at the same time, during my recovery, the national coach and my coach were talking to me because I had to take my break from May until July or
Yeah.
August, and they were like, "Okay, but what's your plan? Do you want to come back in sports? Do you want to go to World Championship? Because we would really like you to be on the team for World Championship. We got some
Yeah.
injuries also at that time, so we need someone on floor involved, which are my events." It's like, okay, fine. I can't do it. The only thing I'm saying is like, yes, you want me on rings, but the moment that I'm feeling like I'm having an issue doing rings or having pain in my bicep, I'm not doing it. Like I need you to understand that. So I really put kind of my foot on the ground, and was like the
Yeah.
first time I was really doing that with the national team.
Yeah.
And
Which is
it
scary sometimes.
yeah, it is scary because it puts you in a position of like being a little bit stubborn with like
Mm,
just like I got my values, I got my direction that I want to go, and
yeah.
I don't want to bend because that's what
I love
happened. I
that.
kind of bended over a little bit in 2021, and I got injured because of that.
Yeah.
So end up going to Liverpool and at the World Championship in 2022. Didn't do rings. I did the pommel horse, which is my worst event to help the team, and I did vault and floor. More easier routine, but I was there to help the team, and we finished 10. And that was the
Okay.
goal because, like you said, in 2023 we finished in the top 12. That
Yeah.
was allowing us to go to Paris. That was the goal. So Liverpool, it was like a run test to see can we get in the top 12. We finished
Yeah.
10, so we achieved that goal.
Awesome.
So it was really kind of a rehab process and also like seeing if we could make it as a team at the Olympics. So it was really interesting to see both perspective.
So amazing. Okay, but then you went and did your other one right
Yeah.
before Paris. But this time,
Yeah.
oh, I mean, it's just it's injuries are so aggravating when you're an athlete. So this was in February that this happened, and how did this one
Yeah.
happen?
So in February, we got our second national comp. It's
Mhm.
called Elite Canada. It's a regular thing that we have each year. So we got national and Elite Canada are the two national comp that we need to participate to. So
Mhm.
we went to Langley, BC, and we did that comp. And the first day was actually really, really good. Felt great again. I did my most difficult routine like I did in 2021 for the first time since 2021. So it was
On the
actually a good
rings?
improvement on rings.
Yeah.
And on second day, I was starting on rings. And after my set, I was like, there's something wrong. There's something weird about my arm. So I just felt like maybe I was tired, maybe I was just sore. So I just felt like, okay, just keep going. It should pass. But the day after in the plane, it was like, it's really painful. And I think the moment that I woke up and for me, like that was hurting the most, it was like turning my wrist like this. So in the plane, when I
Okay.
was testing it and I was just turning my hand and it was hurting like the exact same spot as the last time, I was like, no, that's not good.
Okay, and that's, like, really not
So
even that's just turning your wrist, like,
yeah, just
15
turning my wrist
degrees.
and like turning a door handle.
Like
Like
turning a
turning a
door
door
handle,
handle
yeah.
was yeah. So it was like, okay. So we arrive on Monday. On Wednesday, our doctor is at INS at the Montreal Olympic Stadium. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm seeing you. Like I need to see you right now because I
okay.
think we're like
February.
if if it is, yeah, if it is what I think it is, we need to go fast because if I have to go get the PRP shot, it's 10
Yeah.
weeks again. So if we're going like
Oh my
February, March, and
gosh!
then 10 weeks, and we have national, which is the Olympic selection, is like it's gonna be close. So we
Oh
need to
my
act
god.
now.
Yeah,
So yeah, that was fast. And then I met the doctor. The guy who was doing the PRP shot, I think, was in vacation for the rest of the month of February, so he couldn't see me only on the 15th of March. So
come
that was like
on.
a month, yeah, a month later. So it's like, fuck, okay,
Oh,
I
come
guess that's
on,
gonna be it.
okay.
Yeah.
No.
So and usually like it takes longer to see him, but it was like he knew me and he knew like my objective with Paris 2024 coming. So he
Come
saw
back from
me.
vacation, man, come back from
Yeah,
vacation.
exactly, pretty much. So he saw me on March 13, did
Okay,
the ultrasound, and then saw the tear on that time. It was like, yes, oh
okay.
my, at least you saw the tear, so that's good. It was
Yeah,
like,
you're
come
like, "I'm
back in
not
2 days.
crazy."
Yeah, yeah, come back in 2 days. I'm doing PRP shot on a water polo girl. Come back, I'm gonna do it for you too. I was like,
Okay,
cool. So on the 15th of March, I got my injection, and the 10 weeks were starting at that point. And
yeah,
the craziest thing is like when you calculate it, like when you're doing the 10 weeks rehab, it's going until May 24th.
yeah.
And our Olympic selection was on June 5th and June 7th.
Oh my
So I
gosh.
had like no
Oh.
no time. But
Yeah.
I don't know why. And I don't know why. Like I was so confident in the rehab though. Like
I love
since
yeah.
day one, I was like, I'm gonna go to the Olympics. Like I don't care.
Yes.
I'm and I kind of know I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
And usually it's not my approach. Like usually I'm kind of more freaking out at some point. I'm just kind of it's gonna be tough, you know. Like the
Yeah.
first 3 weeks, I'm like, but at some point, I think I know how to do rehab by this time. Like I got
Yeah.
my other bicep, so I had like a little bit of a guideline. But I got
Yeah.
so many issues with my wrists, my knees, my ankles, stuff like that, that I kind of now an expert of rehab. I would say that.
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but just the attitude of like, no, I'm gonna go. I don't care.
Confidence.
It was already like 50% of the way of the work done. It was like, okay, mentally I'm there to and at first I couldn't do anything. Like I was
Yeah.
doing like little ab circuit and like doing like mobility stuff, and I couldn't train for like 2, 3 weeks. And I did
Mhm.
like a little bit like of a videos on TikTok, just like following a little bit my thing. And I was like, okay, day 24 of I'm going to the Olympics with a bicep tear. So it was kind of a little bit motivating, and like the people around me were so encouraging of what I was doing. It was like, yo, we believe in you, and like if you say you're gonna
Mhm.
do it, like we do believe in you. And it just kind of in that rehab and Olympic preparation slash, yeah, it was kind of crazy. And nationals in Gatineau was, I think, comp that was the most emotional for everyone. It was so tense,
Yeah.
but for me, it was my best nationals ever. Like everyone kind of stepped up their level, especially on day two. Everyone did some crazy routines on P bar, floor, high bar. Everyone, the atmosphere also was really, really nice. You have our whole family there, and like with banners and say like "Go
Yeah.
Will" and stuff like that. That was awesome. And if I could do it differently, I don't think I would do it differently. So
Yeah.
that's a big, yeah, that was nice
So
actually.
interesting. It's so interesting. Like, do you think when you had the first injury, you appreciated sport more? Like you came back to it with a better understanding? And then the second time as well? I don't know. I'm just asking.
Yeah. Um, After the first one, for sure.
Mhm.
Um, because I kind of, I kind of quit the sport, and I was really kind of questioning like my future in the sports when I got injured the first time in 2022.
Yeah.
Um, and I got a job during the summer, and I moved out of my parents' house for just the summer. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try new stuff, and I got a job as a barista in a cafe, and I was like, and it was a mix of cafe and ice cream shop. So I was also like serving ice cream, and I learned how to do a fucking perfect twist and stuff like that.
Yes.
So it
Yes.
was really, and I had so much fun. Like actually had fun, and I had like a meaning. I thought I wouldn't have a meaning in my life without gymnastics at this point, because it felt like
Yeah.
it was so abrupt to stop. It wasn't like planned really, but I felt great. I really felt good. I felt like I was like myself again, and really took some time off.
Yeah.
But by mid July, end of July, I was like, you know what? There's something missing though. There's something
Mm.
missing, and it is the drive of the sports. It is the drive of gymnastics. It's in my blood since I'm 4 years old. I'm
Yeah.
pretty much a block of chalk right now. Like my blood is just chalk.
Yeah.
So no, it was missing me a lot. So
Mhm.
I was missing it a lot. So I just felt like, okay, I know like gymnastics is what I want to do.
Yeah.
It can be the highs are high and the lows are low, but I know like I want to do that and not have a normal 9 to 5 in the next 2 years after I finish school. So
Yeah.
I kind of knew from that injuries that, okay, gymnastics is the way that I want to go. And then on
Awesome.
the second one, it was mostly like, okay,
Olympics.
yeah, and I mean Olympics, and I felt like the advice that I told at the first time is coming from that. It's like, okay, it's gonna be a good story. Like that was like
Yeah, it is a good
in my
story.
head. It is a good story now. It is a really, really good story. But like at that moment, I thought like, if I can make the Olympics with that history, with that injuries, it's gonna be
Yeah.
epic. Like the behind the scenes is gonna be epic. So I'm just like really happy to be here and talk about it right now.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
also like, if I don't go, then I have a good excuse because I injure myself, stuff like that. But it was really
Right.
mostly like, no, it's gonna be a good story. So let's go do it. Let's put the work and do it.
And how was your Olympic experience? I mean, Good thing that it was Paris and not Tokyo, because Tokyo, there's no one there. Like, so weird to
Yeah.
have a COVID Olympics. So Paris, how was it?
Honestly, I had so many expectations for the Olympics. It's like, you're dreaming for that and like your whole since I've been 10 years old with my coach, and I have the same coach from 4 years old to 24 years old, so it's been 20 years, and
Okay. Yeah.
we were talking about the Olympics more seriously about 10, 11 years old. It was saying like, you and other guys here can make the Olympics if you're serious about it, so let's
Mhm.
put the work into it.
Mhm.
So yeah, the expectation were high, and it
Okay.
was mostly they attained my expectation. I was really happy to be there.
Okay.
The village was really really nice actually, like all the
Mhm.
facilities over there, and I could grab a flat white any moment of the day. It was crazy good, and I was really happy with this.
That's so
The
good.
beds, the famous beds, were not that bad,
Right.
but the little note that I'm putting always, a meter 60 and I'm weighing like 65 kilos. I'm not that heavy. So I could
Yeah.
see how it would have been comfortable for a rugby guy or a basketball guy or 7 foot
Right.
8 and weighing like 300 pounds and stuff like that. So I could
Yeah.
see like maybe for some people it wasn't comfortable, but for me it was
Right.
working. It's not the worst that I've been in. It's not the best that I've been in, but you
Yeah.
gotta understand the logistic also behind like they got, I don't know, 8,000 beds that they need to get rid of after the Olympics. So the base of the bed being cardboard makes total sense. So they can recycle the
Totally.
cardboard. So it makes sense. The food was
Exactly.
amazing. There was so many choices. You could like create your own meal, a different meal. Just the salad bar, I could have eaten there for 2 weeks in a row. It
Right.
was crazy
Right.
good. It was so
I love
nice.
it.
And then after that, like the facility for us or gymnastic venue was crazy good looking. It was really really nice. We knew the
Mhm.
venue. It's the World Cup in Paris. It's at that venue, so we kind of knew a little bit like the surrounding and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But seeing like the 15,000 people in there with the Olympic logo in Paris and like the bluish turquoise kind of color with a little bit of touch
Yeah.
of pink. It was really, really cool also to see. It was different. It was really in a good taste. And
Yeah.
my parents couldn't be there because I got a pretty much big family. So they stayed home and stayed with the whole family to watch the Olympics. But they had a great setup. They were in the
Yeah.
garden and they had like a little like kind of tent that with the TV
Yes.
outside, and like my aunt, my grandmother, my friends came to my house to watch the Olympics, and it was super early in the morning. We were competing at 11 in Paris, so it was like 5 a.m. But they all
Yeah.
showed up. They were all
Of
there, so it was
course.
cool. And two of my best friend came to Paris to watch me, so they were there with me. So it was really really cool actually. So no, it
Aw,
was a great experience. I'm really, really
I love
happy and really
that.
positive about it. Now, I kind of want more since Paris happened. I kind of want more for LA. So I want to be healthy first because the run up to go to Paris was not like as planned
Mm.
as I wanted. So
Yeah.
maybe being healthy, being having a good bicep, and maybe challenge for a medal on rings or maybe just a
Yeah.
final. But at least be there and being healthy would be great.
Amazing. I love that. I don't know at all what the bug of going to the Olympics are. I went to 4. So, I hope that you get to go again. I believe in you. That's so awesome. What a great story, as you said. I just wanna touch on a couple takeaways that I took from, like, your story is, like,
Yeah,
gosh, listen to your body. Know when
yeah.
to ask for what you need, like asking for that MRI, that's just huge. Like, I find that as like not really taking a no, like just keep pushing for what you deserve and what you want. Um, PRP sounds amazing. It worked for you.
It did amazingly. I heard some people it's not working for them for some articulation, but for me, my bicep, they love it. So, and
Yeah.
if it's that solution, if people are asking PRP, if you can do it, do it.
Yeah, totally. And also listen to your body and take the time to recover. Sometimes that's really, really challenging for people. I just had Shea Emery, a CFL football player, and had a concussion on the last episode, and he took himself out of sport because he got another concussion. And I think that is so important to like take the time to recover. As athletes, we always want more. We're doing more. We got to be better. But I think
Yeah.
it's really important to actually be better and listen to your body, which is exactly what it sounds like you did, as well as pushing through a little bit as well.
Yeah, no, and concussion is such a different beast that you need to be treated so like of unknown and a gray zone of just like what's
Mhm.
allowed, what's not allowed, and stuff like that. So no, it's hard to take yourself out of the sports when you love it and when you want to perform, and there's so much pressure, and there's all those benefits coming from around from playing
Yeah.
and not taking a pause. So no, it's not always the easiest answer, but it's the right answer most of the time.
Totally. Thank you so much for dropping in today. Where can everyone find you online? Because you put out some good content and I really enjoy it. So let everyone
Thank
else
you
know
so
where they can
much.
find
Thank
you.
you so much. I'm really trying to push a little bit on my social media. So mostly on Instagram, that's my main channel. So on
Yeah.
Will_gymnast or
Okay.
William Émard, you're gonna find me either way.
Yeah.
TikTok, I'm trying to push a little bit more to get my Gen Zs there to follow me a little bit.
Yeah.
And you can email me. I got a agency that if he and I'm doing also some conference in school and stuff like that in businesses. So if there's anyone who's interested in that, you can
Yes.
contact my agency. There's an email on my IG, so whenever. So that's pretty much it.
Perfect. Hit him up because he has good stories and he's in school right now, but he's gonna maybe go to LA. So I find that super exciting. Thank you so
I'm trying
much for
to.
dropping. Thank you so much for dropping in
Thank you so much for the invite. It was really fun.
today. You can find everything you want to know about dropping in with Mercedes at droppinginwithmercedes.com. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Thanks DJ Kenosis for the music and my mom for the intro voice.